Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again, man. Know it's been a minute, but this off season has been crazy, right? You know, it's that stretch of time where it's like, there's no football going on. Let's get the content back together. Let's talk about it. We are finally here. Cowboys are in training camp. They landed yesterday. There's pictures out there of them getting off the bus and stuff like that. Watching the guys walk in, and it's a joy to see George Pickens on this team. Like, oh my goodness, ooh, like training camp is gonna be crazy to see him out there and what he can do with this team. And all eyes are gonna be on him and CeeDee Lamb. We know that, but there's some things to talk about, right? As they start practice tomorrow, today is more like Cowboys coming in. Everybody's getting suited up. Everybody's guys that have injuries, they're getting checked. Make sure everything is, squared away. Getting acclimated with the field out there again for Oxnard. Jerry Jones right now is speaking in a press conference. We'll talk about that in another video, maybe later on today. But yeah, so there's some question marks, right? And I know a lot of fans are like, oh, well, we got Brian Schottenheimer. What he gonna do? He was already in the building. But you got to understand that, he wasn't the head coach, right? And him being the coach now, I mean, although he hasn't been a head coach, he's not new to coaching, right? Look who his father was, right? Look at what he did when he was with the Jets. And all the other coaches in the league that have coached with him and talked about his demeanor and what football means to him. And I think to be a good coach in today's time, you have to be innovative, right? Hold on one second. You have to be willing to be innovative, right? And we know that he's a coach that will do that now. It's not like, shout out to McCarthy, much respect to McCarthy, but he was set in his ways. This is what he knows, this is what he's comfortable with, and he's not doing anything different. Now, you look at Brian Schottenheimer, he understands that the league has evolved. You look at a coach you look at Andy Reid, right? Andy Reid's an old coach, but he's innovative and he listens to ideas that the players have. You remember that little circle thing they did where they were like ringing around a rosy right before they got to the end zone on first and goal? The Chiefs did. That was something that Kelsey and Mahomes came up with. But they brought it to the coach's attention. They practiced it and it worked. So Brian's that type, right? He is going to listen to reason. He's not going to be stubborn and be like, no, this is the way we're going to do it. Well, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. And you got to switch it up. You have to switch it up. So that's why in my mind, I think that Brian is going to be good for this job, because you look at what the players are doing and how they're responding to it, tells you everything. Glad that they re-signed Osa. Osa looked like he ready to go. Tyler Smith said, bruh, hey, look, of course he's going to say that. He's not going to say, oh, well, we ain't trying to win the Super Bowl. But he believes that they got the roster to do it. And it's not like the Cowboys never had a roster to be successful. We just didn't have the right coaches in place. Everybody talks about, with Dak Prescott, perfect time for going when he had the best offensive line in the league and when he had Zeke Elliott in his prime and this and that. Who was our coach back then? Oh, yeah, Jason Garrett. Mr. Average, Mr. 8-8. No, this ain't no. The record didn't skip. That's just what it is. That's just what it was, and those are facts. No offense to Jason Garrett, I like him. He's a likable coach. He's a tough coach. I give him credit for that. But he's not a coach that's just going to get you over the hump. He can get you to the playoffs, but he's not a guy that's going to get you farther than that. That's why we stalemated a lot. And we continue to stalemate because we kept doing the same things over and over again. We already talked about the definition of insanity. So to get out of insanity and to break generational curses, this is what we're doing now. And this is what we need to do. So a lot of the fans that are like, well, let's wait and see. Yeah, I'm waiting to see too. I think Boss Cowboy said it best. Shout out to Boss Cowboy. I missed the wait and see. Oh yeah, wait and see. And that's what it has to be. We have to wait and see. But we are going to talk about what we're excited about. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with talking about what we're excited about. You look at this running back group, it's like, we're not impressed. You look at Miles Sanders, you look at Javonte Williams, you look at what they've done or the lack thereof. Everybody's saying that Deuce Vaughn not gonna make the team, but he has three people on this that work for this team that are his sponsors. Your offensive coordinator and your offensive line coach. Your offensive line coach was with him in college in Kansas. Him and Cooper Beebe. So, thing about it is, all he has to do is do his job. And on his roster, he knows the playbook more than any other running back on his roster right now because he's been here. But we didn't give him the opportunities to be successful before. So that's why people are down on Deuce Vaughn, because we ain't seen him do shit. Now, we talk about this run game, but we also have George Pickens too. So they're going to throw the ball too. But you have to be a balanced football team. You got to be able to do both. Pass open the run opens up the pass. Being less predictable is the game. Being strong in the trenches is the game. I like these young offensive linemen. Although we haven't seen them play, although we don't know if Guyton got better, I know that Connor Riley's going to get these guys together. I do know that. Because he ain't the last offensive coordinator. Offensive line coach. Because that guy, talk about old philosophies and being around during the old school days of the Cowboys, yeah, that stuff don't work no more. You have to be innovative. Football has changed so much since the early 90s. You can't keep your mental on that. We have to stop thinking about what we've done in the past, and we have to change for the future. Period. Because that's the only way that you're going to win. And, not to be long-winded on this video, but I just had that to say. Now, going forward in training camp, we're looking to see what these running backs can do. We were once really strong at cornerback, and I know a lot of people don't like Trey Diggs now because of the whole, workout thing. This is my thing. I don't know why players, I understand that it's in the rules that you have to have 80% of the time being with the team, but that should have been a conversation. That should be a simple conversation. I know y'all like to call them YNs, but these YNs that y'all, these players are different than from our generation, right? They don't communicate the same way. And I think that if there was more communication had, that 500,000 probably wouldn't have been the fine. I see it from both sides of the fence, but I think that if Diggs is healthy, he's a great football player. I know a lot of people talking about they want him on the team no more, but I do. Motherfucker got talent. And you need talent on the team. You need these guys to perform and play, period. That's just how I feel. And you get him, Bland, and when Savon Revel get healthy, shit. And Kalen Carson, once he gets used to the speed of the NFL, we got players, but we don't know what they're going to be like because most of them are injured. We're waiting for Josh Butler because he played good when those guys were out. Then he got injured. I really think they need to bring back Stephon Gilmore, at least for right now, so he could be a mentor in that locker room and start so we can be solid on that outside at least until these guys come back. That's just how I feel about the cornerback position. I'm waiting to see what we're going to do with defensive tackle. We ain't been stopping the run the greatest, and that is definitely a skill that's a want to. Now, I love the additions of what we got, but let's see what these guys can do. Let's see if Mozzie is going to get better. Solomon Thomas, I just wanted to speak on him real quick. And I was watching his interview with Tommy Yaris. Shout out to Tommy Yaris for a beautiful interview that he did with Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas was talking about, and I didn't know this, his sister committed suicide back in 2022. Didn't know that. Very similar situation to Dak Prescott when his brother committed suicide. We talk about mental health, right? And it's a real thing. So people have to stop looking at this as like, oh, you need to get over it. That's the reason why people are killing themselves. Those of you that follow me all the time know that I roller skate, right? I lost one of my skate members to suicide 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. That was my guy. And I didn't even know he was going through anything. And this is why when we talk about mental health, we need to be there for each other, because it's a real thing. And so his story really touched me, because I'm like, damn, Dak went through that. He's going through that. And it's ironic that him and Dak look alike. I know some of you guys joke and be like, oh, he ate Dak, pause, because he's bigger than Dak. But they do kind of look alike. They do favor a little bit. But I love the story. I love the fact that we're getting into real life things, because football players are human too. And so sometimes and the reason why I say this is because we're so quick to judge sometimes, but we have to sit back and realize that we got to stop judging people, because you never know what they're dealing with in their personal lives. So instead of judging, let's ask our fellow man, hey, how are you doing today? Are you going through something? Is it something that you would like to talk about? Anything. You might could talk about a situation that you're going through, and it might spark that person to want to talk about what they're going through. And then that is like a domino effect, and it helps everybody else. And that's the last thing I'm going to say. But as far as training camp goes, let's see how things go with these players as practice ramps up and starts tomorrow. It's going to start off slow, and it's going to ramp up each day. Shout out to Voch Lombardi and all the other YouTubers that are actually going to be there. But, you know, I'll be here at home catching it and reporting and talking about how I feel about certain things, as I always do. So now that we're back in training camp, thank God football is back. And again, think about what I said with that mental health. It's a real thing. And before you go and try to judge somebody, ask them how they're doing, because you never know what people are going through. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Peace out.